Greetings, denizens of the Empire. It's Jabara here. Firstly, I'd like to apologize for the lack of content lately. I'll explain everything later on this video, but for now, I'd like to introduce you all to a new series that I plan to release at the end of every month. Questions and answers from nothing. As you might imagine, this is simply going to be an open forum of questions for, well, me, and I'll answer them. However, these questions must fall within the following parameters. They must be in relation to the community, the future of the channel, upcoming projects, and just general questions about me, my opinions, my motivations, inspirations, and aspirations. Anything that does not fall within these parameters will not be included within the videos in this series. Lastly, in order to be a part of this monthly series, you must be a member of the Empire from Nothing's community Discord server. Once you join, simply ask your questions in the hashtag questions for Ohene channel, and questions asked anywhere else, including the comment section of this video, will not be answered unless they are in respect to how this whole thing works. And please, do not converse or answer questions in this channel. This channel is for asking only. That's it. If you feel like you have an answer to someone's question, please just simply mention them in an appropriate channel. So anyway, without further ado, we will catch up on several months worth of questions. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Happy Hippo Herbals for sponsoring this video. Kratom is an alternative medicine that I had the privilege of trying out for the very first time, courtesy of Happy Hippo Herbals, and I have to say, I'm very grateful to have introduced into my life. Kratom is a plant native to Southeast Asia and has been used by indigenous peoples of the region for centuries. After trying it out for myself, the best way I can describe its effect on me is a combination of feeling relaxed and mellow, all the while feeling focused and energetic. Similar to the energetic effects of coffee or tea, except feeling generally calm and content at the same time, and without crashing or feeling dehydrated afterwards. I pretty much just stop focusing on problems, have a general sense of well-being, and just overall happy vibes without feeling overwhelmed. It's exactly what I need when I'm tirelessly conducting research for new content and editing my videos. Bear in mind, however, that Kratom is a lifestyle product that is unregulated by the FDA, so it's important to do your own research about the benefits and the risks. So, just like anything else, controlling portions and being responsible are really all there is to it. I can confidently tell you, however, that it works great for me and I highly recommend it. You can receive a 15% discount on all Happy Hippo Herbals products using my referral link down below or my coupon code FN10 at checkout. It'll definitely help to bring some positivity into your life, all the while helping support my channel. So anyway, back to the video. Will you ever get rid of the avatar from your videos? It's creepy and unnecessary. Well, firstly, that's a little rude, but yeah. Over the past few months, I've had a few people call my avatar creepy at least 3 or 4 times now. It's strange to me how something that looks so innocent can be creepy to people, but we all have our own phobias, I suppose. But to answer your question, no, I will not get rid of it. I'm an artist, and part of what I do is express art and animation in my content, and it's what makes me happy. So, if poorly animated 2D cartoon characters frighten you, then you are welcome to watch other channels or just simply skip past that part of the video. Have you ever considered studying history academically, or are your videos enough as a history communicator? I'm wondering because you have strong academic scrutiny in your videos, which is a good trait for a historian. I've considered it before, but I feel like the education system would be far too limiting to what I want to do. I have my own ways of doing things and I don't want any obstructions to my methods or aspirations. As I said before, I'm an artist and a creator, and I feel like integrating myself strictly into an academic institution would limit what I'm allowed to do and how, when, or what I want to do. I admittedly didn't search far, but have you thought of doing a video on the Fula Jihads, especially ones other than the Sokoto, like Fuda Jalon? Or has such a video already been done? I've seen mentions of these jihads here and there throughout my research, but I hadn't had any specific plans to make videos on them. African history has tons of content potential, so that isn't to say that I won't do it, it's just that I have other plans ahead of it. Have you considered making a video about the plants that were domesticated and semi-domesticated by Africans? As I said before, some of these questions are several months old, and this one in particular has been answered because I've already released 2 videos on this topic. Again, I apologize for how long it took to answer these questions, and hopefully this monthly series makes up for it. Hey Jabari, will you do a video on the social caste systems and hereditary systems of Africa? No immediate plans for this, but anything's possible. Have you considered creating a history newsletter? It would be a good way to spread knowledge and also get more supporters in my opinion. As it sits right now, I have several big plans, but I don't have the time, the resources, the money, or assistance to accomplish them. For the most part, this channel is a one-man show. It's difficult to manage side products without stretching myself out too thin, and frankly, while I'm also broke. Rest assured though, I have some big plans. What was the closest you ever got to saying, nope, this YouTube game ain't for me? Well, one was when YouTube began demonetizing my videos and not giving me reasons no matter how many times I asked. One video a while back was at the time my most viewed video to date, and by quite a lot. It got age restricted and subsequently demonetized for no reason and remains so to this day. I even contacted support about it and they determined that it did not break any of the community guidelines, but decided they'd still keep the age restriction in place regardless. When I asked them why, they promptly closed the ticket, and when I opened a new one to ask again, they just immediately closed it again. That incident really just made me want to quit YouTube specifically because I just don't think that was very fair. The closest I got to giving up African history content creation itself was when I noticed that channels of similar size to mine tend to get significantly more views. African history just, unfortunately, isn't as popular of a topic. However, that's kind of the whole point of what I do and why I do it. I haven't lost faith, it's a rough road, but I believe I'll be able to accomplish my passion in life. And every bit of support I get from you all in all of its many forms really helps me. What topics did you start on but stop working on, and for what reasons? I tend to have this problem the most with alternate history videos. Sometimes my creativity is just not where it needs to be, and other times I just don't feel confident enough in my knowledge to truly dissect the scenario. I feel the same way if the video becomes too negative as well. History inevitably has some negativity to it, but African history tends to be told almost entirely from a negative perspective, so I try to avoid it if it becomes too overwhelming. Another time was when a patron made a request but then got impatient and unpledged. I worked very hard on this project and it was nearing completion when they unpledged. I was excited to release it because it was a very interesting topic, but I thought their impatience was a little inconsiderate, so the project has since been shelved. Do you believe any large empire could have arisen in southern Africa? I think it all depends on what you mean by large. There were a few sizable empires in southern Africa, but if you're referring to something comparable in size to Songhai or Aksum, then I think it'd be less likely. The diffusion of agriculture and iron metallurgy were relatively late to reach the southern portion of the continent. Iron technology didn't reach the Cape of Good Hope until around 300 CE, and the people here were relatively isolated from trade and exchange of ideas that other parts of Africa enjoyed. Also, I'm not by any means implying that iron was necessary for the birth of large states, but it certainly helps. I also noticed someone responded in the channel, and please don't respond in the channel, again, do not respond to questions in the channel. Someone responded to this question saying that the Zulus were an example of a large southern African empire until the British showed up. That is not true. The Zulu was actually quite small. Very small. People assume it was a large empire because, again, I made a whole video about it. The Zulu Empire, no offense to Zulu people, the Zulu Empire is just overrated. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. So people assume they were this massive, sophisticated, complex empire when in reality they were pretty tiny. Moravi, Great Zimbabwe, and its successor states like Mutapa and Razvi would be much better examples of large southern African states. Did the Zulu ever fight the Europeans in full metal armor like the Iroquois or Aztecs? Some people answer this question in the channel. Again, do not answer questions in the questions channel, please. Anyway, the answer thought that the asker may have meant to ask if European warriors were wearing metal armor at any point against the Zulu. Regardless of whether it was the original question or the interpretation by some of the viewers, the answer would still be no. The only defense that the Zulu had against harm was their iconic cowhide shields. Additionally, the Zulu Empire existed between the years of 1816 and 1879. During this era, guns were far too powerful, and thus metal armor among Europeans was virtually obsolete. Are you planning to make a video about the San people? Yes, I know they prefer the individual names. If so, when? No immediate plans to make a video specifically about them. Right now, my primary focus is on centralized kingdoms and states. It's a part of African history that doesn't really receive enough focus unless North Africa is the topic of discussion like Egypt or Carthage. General academia and media tends to perpetuate the remainder of Africa as a largely primal and tribal place, and one of the many goals of From Nothing is to change that viewpoint. Hey Jabari, I liked your video about the African kingdom in India. Were there any other situations in pre-slavery sub-Saharan Africa when sub-Saharan Africans settled other continents by themselves and possibly created their own states? I'm not Afrocentric and I don't believe in their fairy tales, just curious. Yes, there were plenty of others, notably throughout the Islamic world. In fact, I was recently informed that the Songhai Empire established a hostel in Arabia for pilgrims on Hajj. As for founding their own kingdoms, we have the Aksumite conquest of the Himyaritic kingdom of what is now modern-day Yemen. We also have the Moorish invasion of Spain, which was assisted by 4,000 black troops from Takrur, or what is now known as modern-day Senegal. Hey Jabari, have you considered making a documentary series on specific African kingdoms you like or know about from start to finish, going in depth, like the video you did with Epimetheus, but longer and more detailed? Or would this not be feasible due to financial issues or other issues we may not know about? As I said at the beginning of the video, I was going to explain why my uploads have been so spotty lately. I actually do have a brand new series like that available on Armchair History TV, and I also have it uploaded on YouTube unlisted for patrons only. Armchair History TV, as well as my patrons, make it financially possible for me to do so, but unfortunately it's an exclusive series, therefore I can't share it publicly. Hopefully in the future I can be financially capable enough to create content like this publicly. If you're interested, the series is called Kingdoms from Nothing, and you can view it on my Patreon page or on Armchair History TV. When will you start your Cities Built by Africans episodes again? Well, it's currently shelved, but definitely something I plan to refurbish from scratch. The original one was made when my narration, animation, and research methods were all significantly worse than they are now, and I'm actually quite embarrassed with how awful of a job I did on those videos. Rest assured, however, this series will be revived and revamped at some point. So, there we have it. That concludes episode 1 of Questions and Answers from Nothing. If you'd like to submit your own questions for the next episode of the series, be sure to join the Empire from Nothing Discord community and post your question in the hashtag Questions for Ohede channel, and please follow the rules. Questions only allowed in that channel. Questions regarding the community, the future of the channel, upcoming projects, and general questions about me, my opinions, my motivations, inspirations, and aspirations. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as usual, and always remember, we don't come from nothing.